I am Ferdinand Marcos, and I am the President of the Republic of the Philippines. I stand today on behalf of 110 million Filipinos.
Next to interpolate is the Honorable Joel Chua.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, ulitin ko po yung aking tanong sa ating kagalang-galang na Vice President. Pwede ko po bang malaman kung gaano po kayo katagal naging mayor ng Davao?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP 2025 budget proposal by question and answer. I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal.
Honorable Chua, proceed please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since hindi naman po niya sinasagot, I will just continue with my line of questioning para lang po maipasok sa record po. Alam naman po natin lahat na kayo po ay naging alkalde ng Davao. Of course, nung time na yun, meron din po kayong item for confidential fund under the office of the mayor. Tama po ba?
Point of order, Madam Chair. Yes, Honorable Gloria.
What we are discussing is the OVP budget, not a budget of the local government of Davao of many years ago. And while I have the microphone, I just want to make a manifestation that, Your Honor, you said that allocation includes utilization. If that were the case, everybody would be examining everybody's 2023, 2022, 2021 budget. And Madam Chair, I have been attending so many budget hearings. Nobody ever discusses something earlier than 2024.
Madam Chair, if I may, Madam Chair, I will not ask naman the confidential budget of the city of Davao.
Yes, I was about to say that.
Yes.
Yes, your point of order is well taken, ma'am. We will not discuss the budget of...
Yes, I will not, hindi ko po tatanungin po yun. Ang point ko lang po dito ay as Mayor of Davao, dahil alam naman po natin, medyo matagal po siyang naging alkalde, hindi po sa kanya bago itong confidential fund. And in fact, ito po ay kumbaga normal na po dahil lahat naman po ng alkalde meron naman pong confidential fund Now, susunod ko pong tanong, Madam Chair, is napansin ko po dito sa liquidation report dated January 10, 2023. Meron po ditong nakapirma sa taas po ng Sara Z. Duterte, Vice President. Gusto ko pong tanungin ng ating Vice Presidente kung ito po ba ay kanyang pirma. Sa liquidation report po ng January 10, 2023, serial number 2022-12-152.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, on the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions regarding the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President. We have submitted our responses and we assure our full cooperation with the ongoing audit. Madam Chair, again, sinasabi ko na walang confidential funds sa 2025 budget proposal and all the questions are about confidential funds except for one which was about the recipient of OVP projects.
Honorable Chua, please proceed.
Well, totoo po yung sinasabi po ng ating Vice Presidente. Subalit, ngayon lamang po natin nakita to. At ngayon lamang po natin nakita kung ano po yung laman ng o kung paano po niya nagamit yung confidential fund. Kaya kung dati po, hindi naman natin siya matatanong dahil wala rin po tayong opportunity, dahil wala rin po tayong hawak ng mga dokumento. But it is only now, Madam Chair. Kaya nga po tinatanong po natin para at least malaman din po natin at saka konektado rin po to dahil at the end of the day, dito po natin makikita kung paano po siya gumamit ng pondo na binibigay po sa kanyang opisina. May I proceed now, Madam
Please
Chair?
proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Meron din po ditong naka-attach dated January 10, 2022, certification. Sa baba po dito, nakalagay po dito, attested, Sara Z. Duterte, Vice President, at sa taas po nun meron pong pirma. Do you confirm that this is your signature, Madam Vice President?
Dapat usisain talaga yan.
Madam Vice President?
Yes, Madam Chair. Precisely. Dapat hindi ninyo yan nakikita kasi that confidential funds pertains to national security and hindi pa tapos yung audit process. But to answer the question, Madam Chair, on the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions regarding the confidential funds of the OVP. We have submitted our responses and we assure our full cooperation with the ongoing and unfinished audit.
Honorable Chua?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since hindi naman po niya sinasagot yung ating katanungan, I will just proceed. Meron din pong nakatouch dito na accomplishment report. Utilization of confidential and intelligence fund, period covered December 21 to December 31, 2022, total amount 125 million. At sa baba po nito, may nakalagay pong approved by Sara Z. Duterte, Vice President. Again, Madam Chair, gusto ko pong tanungin ng ating Madam Vice President kung ito pong pirma na nandito sa ibabaw ay kanya po.
Madam Vice President?
Madam Chair, on the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions from COA regarding the confidential funds of the OVP. We have submitted our responses and we assure our full cooperation with the ongoing and unfinished audit.
Honorable Chua?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, napansin ko lang po kasi sa lahat po ng kanyang mga sinubmit, personal, may nakalagay po sa taas na signature po ng ating Vice Presidente at wala pong mga countersign. So, ibig sabihin, wala po ditong nag-inspection bukod po sa kanya. Siya po yung nag-certify, siya rin po yung nag-attest, at siya rin po yung nag-approve. So, yun po yung aking punto po dito. Another thing, Madam Chair, gusto ko lang pong tanungin ng ating, kasi kaya ako nga po tinatanong kanina kung anong taon sana siyang naging alkalde ng Davao, kasi gusto ko pong tanungin sa kanya kung aware po ba siya sa Joint Circular number 2015-01 dated January 8, 2015.
Madam Vice President?
Madam Chair, on the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions regarding the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President from the Commission on Audit. We have submitted our responses and we assure our full cooperation with the ongoing and unfinished audit.
And you have 30 seconds left.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, yung huling tanong ko, i-address ko na lamang po sa ating COA. Kanina po, nung tinanong po kayo ng ating ni Congresswoman Magsaysay, sinabi po niya, hindi tama yung paggamit ng pondo. Ano po, pwede po bang pakipaliwanag ninyo sa amin? At sinabi po ninyo, opo, pwede po bang paliwanag po ninyo sa amin kung paano po ninyo nasabi na hindi tama yung paggamit ng pondo? Sa kuha po, hindi po kay Madam Vice President.
Ask Muliano.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ang sagot ko po ay yung sa general effect po ng notice of disallowance kasi wala po akong personal knowledge dun sa confidential fund at hindi ko po nakita yung document niyan nung sinubmit sa committee. Dahil iba po yung unit na nag-audit niyan.
So dun po sa hindi tamang
Last question.
Last question po, yes. Dun po sa hindi tamang paggamit ng pondo, pwede rin po ba nating masabi na nagkaroon po ng diversion of fund o yung sinasabi po natin yung pondo hindi po nagamit, dun po sa talagang dapat siya gamitin?
Ascom Juliano.
Opo, pag ang tanong po tungkol dun sa audit ng confidential fund, di ko po pwedeng sagutin kasi hindi po ako yung nag-audit noon. Pero kung ang tanong nyo yung general
po yung tanong
notice
ko.
of disallowance, meron pong gano'n.
So, possible
Meron
po
meron
na may
pong
diversion of fund.
Meron pong ground na ang mga ground po ng disallowance is irregular. Ibig sabihin po hindi sumunod sa panuntunan ng guidelines. Pwede pong excessive, hindi naman kailangan bumili ng maraming stocks nasira lang, yung medicine na expired lang. Pwede pong unconscionable, ibig sabihin masyadong shocking na dun sa senses. Parang kung ang laptop mo is 50,000, bumili ka ng laptop na 500,000, baka naman unconscionable na po yun.
So, ang tanong ko lang po kung...
So, yes, this last question.
So, yung tanong ko lang po kung possible po na mayroong diversion of...
Meron pong under
yes or no lang po?
the revised penal code po, merong technical malversation.
Thank you po.
Right, salamat. Next to interpolate is the Honorable Jervil Luistro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think we all agree, from the level of the President down to barangay captain, public office is a public trust. In other words, public officers and employees must, at all times, be accountable to the people. In line with this, Madam Chair, with all due respect, I wish to invite the attention of the committee to the press interview of Her Excellency, Madam Vice President, in the Senate on August 22, 2024. In substance, the Vice President said, "Saan naman kayo nakakita? Constitutional body, inuutusan isubmit ang audit report. Hindi pa nga tapos." With all due respect, Madam Chair, may I request the resource speaker to comment on her intention about her statement.
Madam Vice President.
Magaling na abogado yan, guys. Si Congressman Luistro.
Madam Chair, again,
Oh, yeah.
the question is not related to the 2025 Office of the Vice President budget proposal. On the issue of confidential funds, we have received the audit actions regarding the confidential funds of the OVP. We have submitted our responses and we assure our full cooperation with the ongoing audit.
Honorable Luistro.
Madam Chair, in other words, this representation wished to be clarified when the Vice President made the statement. Intensyon ba ng ating Vice Presidente na ibahagi o hindi ibahagi sa publiko ang resulta ng nilalaman ng audit report patungkol sa kontrobersyal na 125 million na confidential fund? Nonetheless, Madam Chair, I understand that the Vice President already expressed her intention not to answer this question. Thus, please allow this representation to shift to the COA. May I request the COA to give his comment to this statement of the Vice President.
Ascom Juliano.
Madam Chair, pwede po pakiulit po yung question.
Okay, you may repeat the question. Hindi po natin isasama sa yung 5 minutes.
During the press interview of the Vice President in the Senate on August 22, 2024, she made the remarks, "Saan naman kayo nakakita? Constitutional body, inuutusan to submit fraud audit. Hindi pa nga tapos." We are requesting the COA to make their comment on this.
Madam Chair, ang sagot ko po siguro in relation dun sa subpoena kasi yung rationale po ng compliance namin sa subpoena, Iko-quote ko lang po yung second page po per sentence noong subpoena. This subpoena doses TECOM is being issued in accordance with the oversight function of the House of Representatives. This order is likewise based on Section 3 of COA Circular 2013-006 dated September 2013. Ang compliance po ng COA ay dahil po ito ay inisyu po ng chairperson ng Committee on Appropriations. And under yung pong Congress, yung House of Representatives, is a body authorized by law to issue subpoena. And we cannot interpret otherwise. There is a presumption of regularity and validity do sa subpoena. We cannot unilaterally challenge the validity of the subpoena unless the court will interpret that pwede po or hindi pwede. Yun po yung amin ko. Kaya kami po in-entrust po namin sa dun sa House of Representatives, dun sa wisdom po ng leadership, yung compliance sa documents. At ito rin yung sinasabi dun sa aming guidelines na pag may subpoena po, we have to comply.
Honorable Ministro.
In relation to your compliance with the subpoena, did you recall having received any feedback from the Office of the Vice President pertaining to the same?
Actually po, mayroon pong sulat ang Office of the Vice President sa aming chairman na yun nga po, may mga legal issues po na binabanggit. At ito po yung na-consider na rin po ng Office of the Chairperson noong nag-comply sa subpoena do sa STECOM.
Madam Chair, with that manifestation of the COA, may I request that the committee be provided with a copy of the letter? And having said so, Madam Chair, may I request for a suspension of the briefing? Madam Chair, without going to the letters of this communication.
Could you please first manifest what you have in your possession?
With me is a copy of the letter of the Office of the Vice President, signed by Attorney Zuleka T. Lopez, Undersecretary and Chief of Staff, addressed to Honorable Gamaliel A. Cordoba, Chairperson, Commission on Audit, Quezon City. This is dated August 21, 2024. Madam Chair, this is composed of 4 pages, and I lament that I do not have material time to go over this letter by the letters. Nonetheless, I wish to manifest that the substance of this letter is an opposition to the subpoena that was issued by Congress. If I may read, we are of the position that the subject subpoena should not be complied for the following reasons. If I may continue, Madam Chair.
Yes, please proceed.
Among the issues that were raised, one is the violation of the principle of separation of power. Second is violation to due process. And third is the confidential nature of the fund. Madam Chair, I wish to manifest my comment to the issues that were raised in this letter. First, the principle of separation of power is not absolute. This is subject to exception. As a matter of fact, we call it the system of check and balances. And that is the very reason why the Congress has the oversight power and that is to make sure that the laws enacted, including the appropriation laws, and to be specific, the GAA 2022, the source of the confidential fund, is properly implemented. If I may share, one of the landmark cases about oversight power is the Abacada Guro party list. There are three consequences of oversight power. One is congressional scrutiny. Two is congressional investigation. And three is legislative supervision. With all due respect, by congressional scrutiny, without necessarily conducting an inquiry in aid of legislation, the Congress may request information and report from other branches of the government. Similarly, it can recommend and pass resolution for consideration of the agency involved. Madam Chair, with respect to the violation of due process, I humbly believe that we are all witnesses in today's hearing. We are in fact catering the right to due process. A number of the esteemed members of the House propounded questions already, but our Vice President maintained his position not to address the question concerning confidential fund. But speaking about due process, I humbly submit that notice was given, this is a budget briefing, and ample opportunity to explain was even accorded. It is my humble submission, Madam Chair, that contrary to the letter, we did not violate due process. As a matter of fact, we catered due process. Finally, Madam Chair, they raised the confidential nature of the fund. Ito po'y tanong na nais kong iwanan sa mga kapwa natin Pilipino. Granting that the nature of the fund is confidential and recognizing Memorandum Circular Number 15, 2023, relating to the privileged communication. Ang tanong po, Madam Chair, when there is notice of disallowance na nagsasabing ang 72 million out of 125 million na confidential fund ay hindi nagamit ng naaayon sa Joint Circular Number 15-01. And as a matter of fact, ipinababalik ng COA sa pamahalaan. Ang tanong, confidential fund pa po ba ang tawag dito? Privileged communication pa din po ba ang saklaw nito? Oo po, at tatahimik na lang po ba ang Kongreso? I wish to share the case of Chavez versus Public Estates Authority.
Kindly wrap up.
This is the right of the people to information on matters of public concern. There is no argument ang pera ng gobyerno ay pera ng taong bayan. Unless the citizens have proper information, we cannot fulfill the constitutional mandate that public office is a public trust. I submit, Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President, do you care to comment?
Yes, Madam Chair, nasabi kanina, ang gist lang na nakuha ko na nasabi kanina ni Representative Luistro, yes, is that wala siyang time na isa-isahin per letter yung letter namin sa Commission on Audit. on why the requested documents should not be released to Congress. Pero nakahanda na yung mga sagot niya sa lahat ng arguments namin sa national security, sa due process, and sa separation of powers. Is this part ba of what you said earlier, Representative Kimbo, let's stick to the plan? Yun yung narinig ko sa iyo kanina na hindi mo in-accommodate yung point of order na question. And to answer, the Office of the Vice President, on the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions regarding confidential funds of the OVP. We have submitted our responses and we assure our full cooperation with the ongoing and unfinished audit. We are cooperating and answering all the questions in the proper venue that is inside the Commission on Audit, not in the budget hearing for the 2025 proposal of the OVP budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Note all your comments. I do not recall seeing the phrase "stick to the plan," Madam Vice President, and so yes, we do note your comments, and also I believe your compliment of the brilliance of the Honorable Luis Tro. So
Madam
next
Chair?
to yes,
Madam Chair, may I request that the Secretariat read your stick to the plan line?
As I said, Madam Vice President, pasensya na po, we don't have the right to make requests at this point in time. So we proceed to our next member, the Honorable Ramon Gutierrez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon po sa ating lahat. And to begin, Madam Chair, actually may line of questioning po tayo, but a lot of it has been asked by our colleagues. And obviously, the biggest issue for us here would be yung issues relating to confidential funds. But before that, I'd like to preface my questioning po kasi there were quite a number of point of orders regarding the scope of our budget hearing. And though, of course, we defer to the senior lawyers and their experience, it is my opinion that we are well within the bounds of our discussion for 3 points that I would like to share just for the consideration of the body. First, as mentioned by Congressman Manuel, under our rules, under Rule 162, we have rulings as precedent. Under Rule 163, we have supplementary rules regarding our parliamentary practices. So it's very clear po that by tradition, we really follow po, no, kung ano po yung nangyari sa previous hearings, we could still pursue the same. And very much, if I recall, in other proceedings, in other hearings for the budget, we do discuss years going back. And in fact, we can actually we can draw comparison with utilization and allocations of previous administrations, because precisely this is part of our oversight function and part in support of our duty in legislating for the General Appropriations Act. Second, Mr. Chair, I'd like to point out also that part of the President's budget in the NEP, if we take a look, that there is a portion on proposed budget, there is a portion on current budget, and there's a portion of actual. So as a matter of fact, and I believe it was actually DS Ungab who taught me this when we had our workshop, when we started for the first termers here. And that actually, while we are discussing the budget of 2025, verily part of the NEP, of the actual, is actually discussing 2022. And very much as precisely mentioned by Congresswoman Kimbo, sometimes the validity of appropriations can go on for 2 years, and that is why exactly we can really look into that. And third, and I think most important in relation to the issue of the confidential funds, is the question of yung sa COA po, yung itong Notice of Disallowance and Audit Report which we have received by virtue of Subpoena Duces Tecum. 2024 po yung date nito. So I think it would have been impossible for us to tackle these matters in the previous deliberations. And I think rather than, although the proposal is noted that we have different committees to hear these kinds of things, given the nature that it is not yet final, I think the hearing before the budget would be most appropriate to consider the same. So with that said, Madam Chair, I would like to proceed with my questioning. And I would be addressing this question to the Honorable Vice President. Madam Chair, may we ask through you, Is the Honorable Vice President aware of the audit observation memorandums covering 3 different disbursements of confidential funds?
Madam Vice President.
On the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions regarding the confidential funds of the OVP. We have submitted our responses, and we assure the public of our full cooperation with the ongoing and unfinished audit.
Madam Chair, is the Honorable Vice President aware that for the first audit observation memorandum regarding the 2 disbursements of confidential fund, there were 2 issues raised by the COA?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, on the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions from the COA regarding the confidential funds of the OVP. We have submitted our responses, and we assure the public our full cooperation with the ongoing and unfinished audit.
Thank you for the response, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, is the Honorable Vice President aware that one issue raised by the COA was the lack of documentary evidence presented?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, on the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions from the COA regarding the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President. We have submitted our responses, and we assure the public of our full cooperation with the ongoing audit.
Madam Chair, thank you for the response. Would the Honorable Vice President be aware that another issue raised by the audit observation memorandum was the misappropriation of categories? Because, Madam Chair, in the audit observation memorandum, there was a distinguishment that the use of confidential funds shall be limited to certain categories of expenses, and that verily the point of the AOM was that there were findings that some of the categories included in the AOM were not subject or scope of confidential funds.
Madam Vice President.
On the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions from COA regarding confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President. We have submitted our responses, and we assure our full cooperation with the ongoing and unfinished audit.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'd move on to the next question. Regarding these AOMs, it seems to be that for COA, based on experience, masyadong matagal na po ito. May we ask, Madam Chair, if there is any delays of sorts on the part of the Office of the Vice President in terms of responding to these AOMs and notice of disallowance?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I think that question is best asked to the Commission on Audit. Why will you ask me that? Sinabi na nga niya, itatanong sa Commission on Audit eh.
Madam Chair, most respectfully, there was a response on the part of the Office of the Vice President, and I would just assume that the Vice President is aware of the timing of their response to any audit actions that she has repeatedly mentioned, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, that is a question for the Commission on Audit, not for the Office of the Vice President.
Madam Chair, well, I will rephrase and indulge the good Honorable Vice President. May I ask, Madam Chair, the COA, regarding the proceedings po nung kanilang audit observation memorandum. May we know, Madam Chair, through the member of COA, the date on which the AOM was submitted and the date of which the response was made?
Ask Muliano.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, I don't have the documents, and I am not privy to the audit of the Intelligence and Confidential Fund because it is within the Intelligence and Confidential Fund Audit Unit.
Madam Chair, most respectfully, may we know the position of our member from COA here?
Madam Chair, I am an Assistant Commissioner of COA. I'm the senior, the head of the Assistant Commissioners Group.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just clarifying. So, hindi po siya pala galing sa ICAUF po, no? So, I suppose we'll have to make do with that answer for now. A lot of my questions were supposed to bank on that. Madam Chair, I'll move on to the next po siguro. Based on the circular, the compliance of the liquidation of cash should be done within the within year end. And Madam Chair, it could be noted that the submission of the liquidation for the first confidential fund issued for 2022 was actually done in January 10, 2023. I will not address this to the Honorable Vice President, as she has pointed out. I will address this question to the COA. Madam Chair, is that correct, that part of the circular dictates that liquidation of cash advances regarding confidential funds should be done within year end?
Ask Muliano.
Yes, there is a requirement that all cash advances should be liquidated at year-end.
Madam Chair, notwithstanding that the scope of covered period would be, for example, in the case of 2022, it was December 21 to December 31. Would that still require that liquidation be done at year-end?
Ask Muliano.
If the disbursement is not yet generally all unliquidated cash advances should be liquidated at year-end.
So, Madam Chair, notwithstanding that it ended December 31, it should have been liquidated at that time, but yet the liquidation report was filed in January 10. Wouldn't this be ground for the disallowance of the whole confidential fund for 2022, Madam Chair?
Ask Muliano.
Under our rules, the disallowance is based on the usage of funds, not on the cash advance. If the usage of funds is irregular, it could be disallowed, but it is based on untimely liquidation of cash advance. There are administrative penalties under the circular, but it should not be the sole basis for notice of disallowance.
Madam Chair, if with the indulgence of the committee, just two more questions.
Yes.
The one more question on that matter, the address to the good Assistant Commissioner. Madam Chair, what is the scope of these administrative penalties? Ano po yung length ng time of penalties that were prescribed?
I don't have the circular on the cash advance. It's 97-001 if I still remember it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, last question po, no? And I think it should be noted that the first CIF that was issued, the first confidential funds 2022, was based on yung contingent fund and later on passed on. But however, for the second, it was already part of the GAA, and this amount was 500 million. However, based on the liquidation, only 375 million was used. May we know, Madam Chair, from the Office of the Vice President, why the fourth supposed quarter, the fourth tranche, was not utilized?
Madam Vice President.
Kasi, Madam Chair, noong nagsagutan na kayo, ikaw, Representative Kimbo, tsaka Representative Castro, about the 11 days, 19 days, ilang days na yon ng utilization, nakita ko na that was the start of an attack against the Office of the Vice President, and i-hinge yung attack on the confidential fund use. So nakita na namin yung timelines, and nakita na namin yung kumbaga script sa narrative ng attack on the Office of the Vice President with regard to confidential funds. So, to show goodwill to the people and para mapabigyan ng muka na sinabi namin na hindi namin napapadali ang trabaho namin dahil sa confidential funds, dahil natatarget namin kung saan dapat ilagay ang proyekto, pero pwede kaming magtrabaho ng walang confidential funds. That is the reason why hindi na namin ginamit ang fourth quarter na confidential funds sa Office of the Vice President to show the people, the public, that we are in good faith sa paggamit ng confidential funds. And we are true to our word na sinabi namin na napapadali ang trabaho, pero pwedeng i-give up yan.
That was your last question.
With the
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Let us just finish, Honorable Gutierrez.
Given the substantial response this time, Madam Chair, I'd like to follow up the question. But isn't it the case for this batch of confidential funds? This was issued through the GAA, and therefore it went very precisely, may NEP po yan as part of the President's budget. You made your case before the DBM for 500 million. So the expectation is there was a program to be followed for disbursement for 500 million. Isn't it, Madam Chair, when we indicate in our GAA certain allocations, the expectation is that it would be utilized to its fullest extent? Would this mean, Madam Chair, that the confidential fund, even for any supposed program submitted to the DBM, is actually discretionary on the part of the public official? Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair.
Let's just finish. Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair. Yung paggamit namin, kanina in-explain ko na, hindi na namin ginamit. Kasi nakita na namin sa timeline may sagutan ng 11, 19 days. And then, meron nang lumabas na AOM ng COA within days. And then, meron na namang lumabas na another AOM. So, nakikita na namin yung pattern noong attack. That's why we decided in the Office of the Vice President na wag na dagdagan pa yung bala ng attack. At ipakita sa mga tao na yung confidential funds, we are in good faith of using that and goodwill namin na napapadali yung trabaho, pero pwede siyang hindi gamitin ng Office of the Vice President.
Salamat.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Gutierrez.
Madam Chair.
Yes, is it, unless it's a point of order, we will not entertain.
Since my name is mentioned by the Vice President, may I answer? May I comment also, Madam Chair?
Just a short interjection.
Yes, kasi yung sinasabi niyang attack, hindi ko po maintindihan yung attack. Nagtatawanan daw tayo during the, kung ano man yung sinasabi, on 11 days, I think hindi ako yon, no? I-review niya yung naging proceedings noong 2023 na budget. Second, Madam Chair, hindi ko maintindihan itong attack na to kasi legitimate yung ni-raise natin about confidential funds ng 2022 na nakita naman talaga natin on records na wala talagang item na confidential funds sa 2022. Kaya ni-raise natin yon, at wala akong planong i-attack. Para saan? Ito, ginagawa lang natin, di ba? Dahil ito ay trabaho naman natin, mandated tayo na busisiin ang mga budget related sa iba't ibang mga agency. So, hindi ito, wala itong intention, but for the sake of the budget lang, at tinitignan naman, nakita naman natin na walang line item sa 2022 budget. Kaya dapat lang na ma-explain. At kaya nga yun, nagkaroon na tayo ng audit at yung galing na sa COA at naintindihan na natin kung paano yan ginamit. So, I beg to disagree na sa umpisa pa lang ay may plano na ako na mag-attack kanino sa Office of the Vice President. And in fact, nag-request pa nga siya ng budget for confidential fund in 2024. Na kung di natin na-discover yung 2022 na confidential funds, well, magtutuloy-tuloy pa rin yung ganyan, Madam Chair. So, yes, Madam Chair. So, I beg to disagree na meron akong intention na mag-attack sa kanya or sa Office of the Vice President.
Point of clarification, Madam Chair.
Yes, Honorable Dan Fernandez.
Clarification.
Just the last one.
I just wanted to be clarified, Madam Chair, because there's accusations coming from the Vice President that there is a collective action that to be taken by this committee on attacking the budget, especially the COA report on the confidential fund of the Vice President. I think we need to be clarified if there is such action that will be taken by this committee. I think it is unfair to all of us, especially kami, galing lang po kami sa kabilang hearing and we decided to check it out, what is being discussed in this committee. Then suddenly we will be a part of this conspiracy or a collective action that will be taken against the confidential fund of the Vice President. And hearing the side of the Vice President on the repetitive reply on not answering, I think it will set a bad precedent. What prevents other departments that we will be inviting over to do the same? And I think it is incumbent upon her, with all due respect and with humility, for us to be clarified on those budget that was used for the confidential fund. And I think being a part of the accusations that we are part of the collective action to malign her on the confidential fund is something that is out of order. I know, Madam Chair, that kung titignan naman po natin yung budget niya for 2025 na 2 billion and comparing to 2024 budget na 1.8, myself, I will move to approve this budget. Because ang liit lang naman po ng increase niya. But what hurts me ay yung pong masama po tayo doon sa sinasabi po niya na meron po tayong collective action to malign her.
So do you wish to introduce a motion?
And ang sinasabi ko lang po sana, I want to be clarified that it is a collective action of this committee to have a malicious intent on asking the confidential fund of the Vice President on the previous years. We are doing that in the different committees. We are doing that in the different investigations. And what I'm trying to point out, Madam Chair, I hope that the accusation of the Vice President have basis on trying to involve everybody on this conspiracy to attack her.
So just to
I just
clarify,
want it to be clarified, Madam Chair.
absolutely, we have absolutely no plan, any conspiracy, if I may use that word, to attack, if I also may use that word. Nandito lang po tayo para kilatisin ang budget ng isang ahensya ng gobyerno. Yun lang po, maliwanag.
May point of clarification, Madam Chair, if that conspiracy theory of having this a pre-attack on her budget is being conspired by this committee. And if that is so, let me out, Madam Chair. Hindi po kasama doon. And I hope that the good Vice President will amend her statement involving everybody for this action taken by this committee, Madam Chair.
Kaya nga hirap sa kanya
Would
Madam Chair,
Vice President wish to...
I did not say tumatawa. Gusto niyo ulitin? Gusto niyo ipabasa ulit sa Secretary kung ano sinabi ko? I did not say tumatawa kayo. Number 2, I did not say attack by the committee. Number 3, I did not say collective action. Sa kanya nang galing yun. I did not say conspiracy theory. Sa kanya nang galing yun.
Simple ka lang kasi.
Pabasa niyo ulit kung ano sinabi ko.
Pero yun din ang konto nun.
And so, Madam Vice President, because those words were uttered by someone, I
just because you don't like my answer, you don't like how I answer, you don't like my demeanor, hindi ibig sabihin na hindi ako sumasagot.
And that's the reason why, Madam Chair, I asked for the point of clarification.
yes, so again, I had...
Now that the
Pwede lang po sana.
Now that the Vice President...
Sandali lang po, para hindi po tayo nagsasabay-sabay, merong clarification na hiningi at nag-clarify naman po ako. Wala pong plano kasi kanina, very clear ang sinabi naman po, there was a plan, stick to the plan. Wala rin po ako natatandaan. I kept saying, let us all stick to the issues, which is the budget. So yun na lang po. Let's just end here and so that we can move on.
Yes, Madam Chair,
Kung pwede lang po sana, let's move on. Meron pa pong isang budget pagkatapos nito.
Lastly, that's the reason why I asked for a point of clarification. The point of clarification is to be clarified by the resource person. And if that is the answer of the good Vice President, I will accept that her intention is not to involve everybody on a collective attack on
and
her
we're
budget.
happy with that
And I'm
clarification.
happy on the answer of the Vice President. But, of course, I just wanted to review the... Anyway, thank you so much for that.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Madam Vice President.
clarification is understandable if you want to be clarified of the words I uttered. I did not say collective action. I did not say conspiracy
Yes, it
theory.
has been made clear,
I did not
Madam
say
Vice President.
I'm being attacked by the committee. Hindi naman nanggaling sa akin yun. So anong ika-clarify ko doon?
Yes, ma'am, noted po. It had been
Yung
made clear
script
po.
kasi, nagkakabuhol-buhol na yung script.
Let's now proceed. Let's now proceed.
Madam Chair, just an inquiry from this representation. May I ask if this is a budget hearing on the budget of the OVP, or is this a committee investigation already?
This is a budget briefing by the Office of the Vice President. And with that clarification, let us move on to the next member.
Good afternoon, Madam Vice President, and to everyone. Before I proceed with my question, Madam Chair, let me make a manifestation. In the National Expenditures Program for fiscal year 2025, Volume 1, page 34 and 35, on obligations by object of expenditures, there's a column for GAA 2023, 2024, and 2025. That is on the operating expenditures. Likewise, in page 36, on the performance indication, there's a column, 2023 GAA targets. In the briefing materials provided by the Office of the Vice President for fiscal year 2025, page 4 presented the comparative budget allocation and utilization for fiscal year 2019 and 2025. And also in the presentation, slide presentation of the Vice President in the physical accomplishment, that is GAA 2023. Madam Chair, if I may proceed with my questions.
Please proceed.
I will defer to the Vice President if she wishes to answer or not my questions. Under the obligations by object of expenditures in the 2025 National Expenditures Program, 375 million was obligated in 2023. Can you kindly confirm?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal.
Madam Chair, considering that what was obligated is 375, there is a balance of 125 million that has not been obligated and released, as earlier confirmed by our Vice President. Can she again confirm it? As to the amount?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP budget proposal of fiscal year 2025 by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal.
Madam Chair, may I ask the Vice President, what are the programs, activities, and projects that will be affected by the non-utilization or non-use of the 125 million of confidential fund?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP 2025 budget proposal by question and answer. I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal.
Madam Chair, will the 125 million unobligated balance of the confidential fund be considered savings by the Office of the Vice President?
Madam Chair, I would just like to point out, yung previous question niya, sinagot ng sumunod niyang question. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal.
It's about savings, Madam Chair, if she will have it as a savings, considering that the budget has a validity period of 2 years, which will end in December 2024. So that is my question, if it will be considered as a savings by the Office of the Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal.
Madam Chair, is the Vice President aware that the Commission on Audit issued a credit notice dated August 8, 2024 finding no deficiencies on AOM Audit Observation Memorandum number 2024-015 dated February 1, 2024 regarding the liquidation of the cash advances of Mr. Edward D. Fajarda, Special Disbursing Officer for confidential expenses of the Department of Education, covering the period from February 20 to June 20 of calendar year 2023 in the total amount of 75 million.
Madam Vice.
Madam Chair, I cannot answer for the Department of Education.
But it was during her time that the period covered by this liquidation.
Madam Vice.
Yes. Madam Chair, I am no longer a part of the Department of Education. Therefore, I am not authorized to speak anything about the Department of Education. The question, ngayon lang binigay na hindi na ako secretary. It may have had happened during my term as secretary, pero yung question ngayon siya. Wala na ako authority.
No, that's why I'm asking if she's aware, because the credit notice was dated August 8, 2024.
Allah.
You may proceed, Honorable T.
On the 2025 proposed budget, how much is the amount of funds allocated for financial assistance and subsidy for 2025 OBP maintenance and operating expenses of 1,792,391? How much is allocated for financial assistance and subsidy?
Vice.
Yes. Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President budget proposal of fiscal year 2025 by question and answer. I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal.
Madam Chair, she mentioned about programs of the Office of the Vice President. May I ask the breakdown, how much will be spent for those programs as she mentioned in her slide presentation a while ago?
Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as it is.
So, Madam Chair, she also mentioned about duplications such as medical assistance and burial assistance undertaken by the Office of the Vice President, as well as of that of the Department of Health, Department of Social Welfare and Development. May I ask the Vice President, in order to streamline the bureaucracy and avoid overlapping functions, what are your thoughts on the possibility of reallocating the funds earmarked for medical assistance and burial assistance to the allied agencies like Department of Health and DSWD?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer. I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. That's all my question, Madam Chair.
Grabe no guys. Napaka walang kwentang.
Thank you. Next to interpolate is Honorable Mark Go.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, to the Honorable Vice President and the other officials of the Office of the Vice President. My first question is directed to the Department of, or the COA. Is it a common practice, Madam Chair, that after an actual audit is completed, there is an exit conference conducted by the Commission on Audit with the institution that is being audited, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President.
The question is directed
ASCOM Julia.
Madam Chair, it is a regular activity before an audit report would be prepared, there will be an exit conference. But in other, for example, in the case of fraud audit, it is not mandatory to have an exit conference. They could only, if the agency or the auditee wishes to have an exit conference, then the team could grant an exit conference, but it's not automatic. But for regular audit, those under residency audit, they conduct exit conference.
In the case of the Office of the Vice President, in 2022, did you conduct an exit conference with the Office of the Vice President?
I have no personal knowledge, Your Honor, because I'm not the one who supervises the national government agencies.
May I ask the Vice President if they had this exit conference after the audit that was completed? Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and we leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Well, I assume that if there was an exit conference conducted by the Commission audit with the Office of the Vice President, what were the initial findings of the audit conference or the audit as explained probably in the audit conference?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I think that question is best asked of the Commission on Audit, not the Office of the Vice President. What were the contents of the audit?
Go. What do you wish?
Yeah, I would assume then that there was an exit conference, and the exit conference was not satisfactory to the auditing department. That's why the the confidential fund, as indicated in the audit observation, we can see the findings because the audit or the exit conference was not successful in terms of resolving some of these audit findings of the Commission on Audit, Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, we have received many audit actions from the Commission on Audit, and we have submitted our responses to them and assured the public of our full cooperation with the Commission on Audit.
Madam Chair, we have received a copy of the audit findings on dated August 8, 2024, issued by the Commission Audit. And have you submitted already your response to these findings, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President.
I'm sorry, could you kindly, the last line?
Yes, could you kindly repeat your question, not to be included in your time?
May we ask if they've already answered, and if they can tell us the answer that they submitted to the Commission Audit on the findings of the Commission Audit as reported earlier? Madam
Vice President.
Madam Chair, I would not like to assume, but is this about the audit of the confidential funds or the audit of the entire Office of the Vice President?
Both, Madam Chair.
All right. On the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions from COA regarding the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President. We have submitted our responses, and we assure the public of our full cooperation with the ongoing and unfinished audit. With regard to other audit actions, we assure the public that we have submitted our responses, and we are in full cooperation with the Commission on Audit.
Madam Chair, I have another question. You have experience using confidential fund, especially in 2022 and 2023. And in 2024, you don't have any confidential fund, as well as probably in this proposal that you submitted in 2025. If you will make a comparison between having a confidential fund and not having, which of these you will choose if be given the opportunity, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President.
Yes, on the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions from COA regarding the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President. We have submitted our responses, and we assure the public of our full cooperation with the ongoing and unfinished audit.
Can you not share with us your experience on this, Madam Chair, on not having a confidential fund and having a confidential fund, considering the fact that you have both experience having one and not having one?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Okay, I think I will have the same answer with my other questions, so I will now end my interpellation at this point in time. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, Madam Vice President. Thank you.
Salamat. Next to interpellate is the Honorable Francisco Paulo Ortega.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Few short questions lang po. Nakakapanghinayang po na ang dami pong prepared na questions ng mga kasama natin. Ngunit marami pong hindi nabibigyan ng sagot. Una, siguro idedirekta ko po ito sa COA na siguro kailangan yung responsiveness ng COA makikita at saka mararamdaman sa mga napaka-importante na issues na ganito. Kasi karamihan po sa atin ang gagaling sa local government. Nanggaling po sa local government. Alam po natin na minsan yung mga ganyang issues sa AOM, sa mga issues ng paglabag, saka hindi po tamang paggamit, nagiging problema po for local officials, even national officials. Parang po minsan kahit na 5 milyon, may nasususpending mayor, may perpetual disqualification, may mga ganun po na issues na I think this house, the members of this house, were really focusing on those questions kasi nga po, nakikita po nila yung importansya ng questions na mga yon, Madam Chair. And makikita naman po natin, sabi nga po ni Kong Mark, my neighbor, na paulit-ulit na rin po yung mga sagot. Sana po baka may mga ibang membro ng opisina ng Office of the Vice President na nakatulong po or nakapagbigay po ng supplemental na sagot or dagdag man lang sana na sagot. Kasi ang dami po nung mga katanungan na parang wala lang, parang hindi na po nasama. Nandyan naman po siguro yung support staff or may mga kasama po dyan. Sana po na mas nabigyan po ng kabuluhan yung hearing, Madam Chair. Thank you po, Madam Chair.
Walang kwentang
Okay, do you care to comment, Madam Vice?
Yes, Madam Chair, the reason why wala dito yung ibang officials ng Office of the Vice President because, and I will say, I will not betray the confidence of some members of the House of Representatives. Meron isa sa mga nagtanong kanina ang nagsabi sa akin na merong script sa pagtatanong about sa confidential funds. That is why I decided na hindi pa atinin yung mga ibang officials ng Office of the Vice President because nakalagay naman doon sa inyong invitation. And I quote, kasi yung copy. In this regard, may we respectfully invite the Vice President or her duly authorized representative. So it was in the alternative. So I decided I'll come alone, answer all of it alone. So that kung i-contempt man ninyo ako lang yung papasok doon sa detention at hindi na masali yung ibang tao dito at yung pamilya nila na nag-aantay sa kanila sa mga bahay nila.
Biro nyo yan? Wala
Honorable Ortega.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Parang, naiintindihan ko kung saan po nanggagaling yung sagot na yon. Pero, resource persons naman po yung kailangan natin eh. More on budget hearing issues. Kung ibang issues yan, I doubt if it will come from this budget hearing. At sabi nga po ng mga kasama natin, Madam Chair, tungkol po talaga sa budget naman. Saka yung mga nakaraang nga pong budget ang pinag-uusapan. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, again, the invitation said or in the alternative, Vice President or. So, I am within my right of attending alone.
Ikukunte? Wala.
Yun lang po siguro, Madam Chair. Sayang lang din po yung pagkakataon. This is the perfect time na marinig din tayo ng not only our fellow representatives, pero syempre ng taong bayan din po kung paano po nangyayari yung mga ganitong bagay, paano po napapatakbo, paano po nagagamit. Siguro I'll stick to that as my final few questions, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat po. Thank you, ma'am.
Salamat. Next to interpret is Honorable Benny Abante.
Palagay ko po alam na po ng taong bayan ang mga nangyayari sapagkat karamihan po ng ating mga colleagues ay nagtanong na tungkol sa confidential fund. Pero gusto ko lang pong tanungin si Madam Vice President, if the representatives of the people, like this House, has all the right to scrutinize the budget of any agency. Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, is it a question? I think it's directed to the House.
No, I'm asking you the question, Madam Chair. I'm asking the question to the resource speaker if she believes that this House, being the representative of the people, has the right to scrutinize the budget of any agency.
Right, precisely. That's why I say I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, that can only be answerable by yes or no.
The Chair would like to remind our guests to please be responsive to the queries of the members in the most direct manner. So please proceed, Madam Vice President.
I already answered.
So, answer by yes or no?
Perhaps my ears are not very clear, so I would like to find out if she answered yes, Madam Chair.
And I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, she has been answering the same answers since we started this query and this hearing. What I just want to ask, Madam Chair, is very simple. A simple answer of yes or no. Does the Madam Vice President believes that this House has all the right to scrutinize the budget of any agency? I'm not just referring to the agency of the Vice President. I am referring to every agency of government, Madam Chair. That can only be simply answered by yes or no. I do not need to hear the paulit-ulit na kasagutan niya. Kanina pa, gusto ko lang po marinig. Hindi po ako nagagalit. Oo, hindi po katulad niya, parang inis na siya. Oo, gusto ko lang po malaman. Oo, humbly speaking, naniniwala ba siya, Madam Chair, na itong House na ito, na binoto ng tao, ay merong karapatan ayon sa konstitusyon na scrutinize natin ang budget ng any ahensya ng gobyerno, including Congress, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, may I request the Secretariat to put on record, cut and paste. I will forgo and I will leave my answer, my previous answer.
Madam Chair, I would just like to ask, why is it very hard for her to answer yes? I'd like to ask, why is it, Madam Vice President, why is it so hard for you to answer yes when you know that the answer should be yes? Why do you have to explain? Why do you have to explain? We're simple people here. I'm not even a lawyer. You are a lawyer, Madam Chair. So, this is a simple question of a simple Filipino. Meron po bang karapatan ang House na ito na scrutinize ang budget ng bawat ahensya ng gobyerno? Yun lang po ang tanong ko. Pwede pong sagutin ito ng yes or no. Kung yes, salamat. Kung no, edi salamat din. At least nalaman ng taong bayan.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP 2025 budget proposal by question and answer. I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the
Order, please.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
Honorable Abante, you may proceed.
I do not need her to explain, please. You have been giving the same answer for hours. The same answer for hours. Alam ko naman po ang pagnanais nyo. Why you answer the same for hours? Ngayon po, iba naman ang tanong ko. Ang tanong ko ito, tatanungin ko uli, Madam Chair, meron po bang karapatan bilang mga representante ng taong bayan sa bawat distrito at party list na mag-scrutinize ng budget ng bawat ahensya ng gobyerno? Hindi po natin pinag-uusapan dito ang confidential fund. Ang pinag-uusapan po natin budget.
Madam Chair, before you answer, the gentleman wishes to have a direct answer, either yes or no. Are you going to provide a direct answer? Honorable Abante?
So, what is the answer?
I asked whether our Madam Vice President will provide a direct answer to your query, and the answer is no.
May I know why?
Madam Vice President? And her answer is no as well.
I don't think that would be the right answer, Ms. The question is, may I know why? And her answer is no. Would that be the right answer to the question why?
Grabe. Wala man ng respeto.
Madam Vice President, do you wish to comment?
Madam Chair, hindi dahil hindi nyo gusto yung mga sagot ko, hindi nyo gusto yung manner ng pagsagot ko, at hindi nyo gusto ang mga sinasabi ko, hindi ibig sabihin na hindi ka sinasagot.
Madam Chair, point of order.
Yes, Honorable.
Mali po yata ang sinasabi niya, hindi nyo gusto, hindi yung nyo. Madam Chair, huwag niyong isali dito ang aking mga kasamahan dito. Ako ang nagtatanong. Sabihin mo sa akin, hindi ko gusto ang tanong mo. Yun lamang ang dapat niyang sabihin sa akin. Sapagkat hindi ko rin gusto ang sagot niya. Madam Chair, ganun lang. Oo.
Tagilid ang budget nito, guys.
Ano po ang sagot niya?
Wala.
Madam Vice President, do you wish to
Madam Chair, there's
answer?
no question.
The Honorable Abante is asking for a question, for a response. Ano po ang sagot niya? Yan ang huli po niyang sinabi.
I request that the question be repeated.
Honorable Abante, kindly repeat your question, not to be included in your time. To please repeat your last question.
Ito po, ang tanong ko kanina, meron po bang naniniwala po ba ang ating Vice President na meron pong karapatan ang mga representante ng taong bayan, ng mga distrito at mga party list na scrutinize po namin ang budget ng bawat ahensya? Hindi po lang ahensya niya, ng bawat ahensya ng gobyerno. Yes o no lang po ang sagot yan. Ang tanong ko po, Madam Chair, kanina ayaw niya sumagot. Ang sagot niya, ayaw niya sagutin. So ang tanong ko ito, may I know why? Ang sagot niya, no. Aba, Madam Chair, hindi po ako masyadong expert mag-English, pero palagay ko po naman, yung pong tanong na may I know why, palagay ko hindi po tama yung sagot na no.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, palagay ko. So that explains it. It is his opinion.
Madam Chair,
it's up to you. You are the deciding officer.
Madam Chair, hindi ko po opinion yun. Nakalagay po sa konstitusyon yun tulad po ng Vice President natin. Naniniwala po siya sa mandato niya bilang Vice President. Naaayon sa konstitusyon. Ganoon din po ang mandato natin dito na meron tayong karapatan mag-scrutinize ng budget ng anumang ahensya ng gobyerno ayon sa konstitusyon. Ang tanong ko sa kanya, naniniwala ka ba doon?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, umikot na po tayo. Bumalik na tayo sa simula. Natapos na yon, nasagot na. Ang sinabi, palagay ko, hindi iyan ang tamang sagot. Kung hindi niya gusto yung sagot ko, hindi ibig sabihin na hindi ako sumagot.
Madam Chair, palagay ko, hindi po siya sumagot sapagkat inuulit lamang niya ang sinabi niya. O ito po ang gusto kong tanungin sa kanya. Pag pwede ba, Madam Chair, pakiulit mo yung sagot mo na isinasagot mo ng paulit-ulit kanina pa, Madam Chair. Gusto ko lang ulit marinig. Gusto ko lang ulit mai-record. Pakiulit mo lang ang sagot mo sa lahat ng mga tanong na tinatanong dito mula pa kanina.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I do not want to assume, so I would like to be clarified. Is this the OVP 2025 budget proposal or the confidential funds?
Madam Chair, sinabi ko budget eh. Hindi ko sinabing confidential fund. Sinabi ko budget. Medyo mahina yata ang tenga ni Vice President eh. Sinabi ko budget eh. Hindi confidential fund. Sinabi ko na wala akong pakialam sa confidential fund. Ang pakialam ko ganito. Meron pang karapatan. Naniniwala ba siya na ang Kongreso ay merong karapatan mag-scrutinize ng budget ng anumang ehensya? Yun po ang tanong ko. Sagutin po niya yes or no. Ngayon, kaya niya sagutin ng yes or no, sabihin niya sa akin ang sagot niya kanina ng paulit-ulit sa lahat ng mga tanong ng ating mga colleagues.
I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, maraming salamat po. Ibig sabihin po, yung kasagutan niya na paulit-ulit, naniniwala siya na merong karapatan ang Kongresong ito na i-scrutinize ang budget. Kahit ang budget na yan nagsimula ng 2023, meron pa rin karapatan ang Kongresong ito na i-scrutinize ang budget. Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat po, Vice President.
Madam Chair. Good evening po, VP Sara. Although kami po ay mga kinatawan ng taong bayan na nakakakuha ng libo-libong boto ng Pilipino, kayo po ang most voted national official sa kasaysayan ng bansang ito. Kinakakatawan po ninyo ang kagustuhan ng pinakamaraming milyon-milyong Pilipino at bilang isang mataas na opisyal ng Armed Forces of the Philippines Reserve Force, ano pong masasabi nyo sa mga kaalyado ng NPA na nakapasok sa gobyerno at ginagamit ng pondo ng gobyerno para tumulong sa pagpatay sa ating mga pulis at sundalo at i-recruit ang mga kabataang Pilipino?
Madam Vice President.
Representative Gardema, I thank you for your question.
Oh, yan, magaling siya dyan.
But I will forgo the opportunity. to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Maraming salamat po, Vice President, sa inyong paglaban sa leftist groups at sa NPA na pumapatay sa ating mga pulis at sundalo na nambibiktima sa sambayang Pilipino. Yun na po. Maraming salamat po, ma'am.
Eh, bakit wala siyang comment sa West Philippine Sea? Sige nga.
Next to interpolate is the Honorable Mitch Kahayan-Uy.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and good evening to our Vice President. Actually, this representation will not interpolate since the responses of the Vice President has been the same. However, I just want to make a manifestation that if possible, if we may request that all the responses and yung mga ano po will not parang out of emotions. Yun lang po kasi when I got here, medyo may mga ano na po may mga nag-iinit na yung mga discussions and everything. So, ang hinihiling ko lamang po sana talaga is kasi may ahensya pa na nag-aantay na alam nating importante rin ang Office of the Ombudsman. Kaya po sana, yung kanina, kaya po ako ay nagpa-register dahil gusto ko lamang po sana na magbase tayo doon sa talagang mandato para sa atin. Ako po, nung nasa isang ahensya, tinitingnan ko po na ang pagtawag ng Kongreso para po umattend ng isang budget hearing, ito po ay ang pinakamataas na form, at ito na rin po ang pinakamataas na call ng Kongreso para po sa sabi nga po, pag-scrutinize. Siguro po, alam nating lahat na ito na po yung pinaka-importante at role ng bawat inelect para dito po. Kaya nga po ang Kongreso ay ang may power of the purse dahil nga po ito po yung mandato na binigay po sa atin. However, kung tayo po ay exchange ng ating mga emotions, these are all simply allegations or ito po yung opinion lamang. Pero kung pwede po sana ay sumagot po tayo ng naaayon since ito naman po ay talagang duty natin at ito po ang ibinabalik sa atin ng ating mga bumoto rin po sa atin. So, ang pakiusap ko po sana ay huwag tingnan na kumbaga parang you're at the other side of the fence. Hindi po tayo rito nagkakaroon ng yung batuhan ng kung ano man. Ang inihingi po natin dito ay konkretong response ayon po sa ating responsibilidad natin ibigay sa taong bayan kung paano po natin matalinong ginasta ang buwis ng taong bayan. Salamat po.
I believe it's a nationwide coverage. So, may we know how our constituents can apply for this program?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
So, Madam Chair, if the Honorable Vice President will agree, meron po ba tayong mga areas kung saan pwedeng mag-apply? Let's say, if we are from the Visayas, where can our constituents apply for this kind of program and the possibility of having the requirements to apply for such assistance?
Madam Chair,
yes,
I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Yeah. Madam Chair, for the information of our good Vice President, I'm not objecting to the program. I'm merely asking for the requirements so that if people would like to avail, they would know where to go and how to go about it. So, Madam Chair, my next question is on the educational assistance. Let's say if we have deserving and poor students and they have existing CHED scholarship, can they apply for additional educational assistance in such program?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, on the Kalusugan Food Truck Pansarap, does this also cover parts of the Visayas, or is it only limited to NCR?
President? Yes, ma'am. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
So, Madam Chair, my next question is on the Magnegosyo Taday, which is livelihood is actually part of economic upliftment. Are there parameters by where MSMEs can apply for this?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, in the government website, it says, as the second highest public office in the land, the Office of the Vice President shall work for the welfare of the Filipino people and contribute to nation building, economic development, and political stability by fostering fidelity to the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines and upholding the highest office, and that is the Office of the President. May we hear the wisdom of the Vice President on this matter.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal with question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the rice food bags, considering that Iloilo and Western Visayas is a rice-producing province, can our farmers contribute to this rice program so that they will have an adequate market with the adequate price?
Madam Vice President.
Yes. Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, the DPM in its proposed budget mentions that the mission of the Office of the Vice President is to promote economic development, political stability, and fostering fidelity to the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines and upholding the highest standard of professionalism in the civil service. It further says that in a sector outcome, promote political and socio-economic development consistent with state policies and government priorities and thrust. My question, Madam Chair, is the Honorable Vice President amenable to this, or do we need to amend portions of this?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
So, Madam Chair, I do respect the contention of the Vice President. My last question is to the Honorable Chair. Yeah, as it was mentioned earlier, Madam Chair, I am not sure, but can you appraise us in the history of the Congress of the Philippines during budget briefings and deliberations? Has the Committee on Appropriations ever detained any resource person?
Never.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat po, Madam Vice President. Thank you very much.
Salamat. Next to interpolate is the Honorable Vice Chair, Claudio Bautista.
So, titingnan natin guys kung ibibigay yung budget niya.
Finish first round first.
Nakahiya. Yan ba? Gusto nyo nga maging Pangulo? Walang manner?
Okay, so next is the Honorable Geraldine Roman.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Magandang gabi po sa ating Vice President. I just want to express a little bit of my disappointment and frustration kasi I really wanted to be enlightened regarding specific programs, in particular, those very, very creative programs, which is actually my favorite, yung Magnegosyo Taday, no? Which will benefit a lot of women, which is part of my advocacies, as well as the LGBT community. But I guess our Honorable Vice President will just give me the same answer. So let me just manifest my disappointment. Parang pumasok po ako sa meeting na to na may katanungan pero lalabas po ako na walang kasagutan and even more questions. I feel compelled to express my deep sense of regret over the way our discussions have unfolded today. Sayang ang pagkakataon. This hearing was supposed to be a crucial forum for us to ensure that the public funds are allocated wisely and effectively, no? However, instead of gaining clarity and insights needed to make informed decisions, we find ourselves caught in a cycle of verbal disputes and personal attacks. And I'm just pointing at one side only, maybe both sides, possibly, and also formula answers, scripted answers, and even insinuations that we are following a script. Napakadali lang naman pong sumagot. Bakit kinakailangan pa nating hold us in doubt and keep us in the dark? So, given the lack of substantive answers provided thus, I'm left with concerns on how we, as members of the Congress, can make an informed decision regarding the budget of the Office of the Vice President and how we can follow our mandate if there is an apparent lack of cooperation. Because to say that there is an answer, which is not really an answer because it does not shed light, it does not give clarity, it does not address the specific concerns. We may question, in fact, certain issues of whether it is valid to discuss the confidential funds or not, but how about our questions? Katulad ng questions ni Representative Garin. Those are valid questions. I think dapat they merit also an answer. So hindi ko na po pagpapatuloy ang aking pagtatanong eh. Ganun naman po ang magiging sagot. Sana po nagkaroon tayo ng clarity. That is my sincere wish talaga. Just clarity. Especially dun sa mga budget items ng 2025 na sa una ay willing naman ng Office of Vice President to answer and so graciously, no? Pilit kong inuunawa, baka naman physically exhausted ng ating resource person. I could hear that her voice is already namamaos, ano? But alam ko malakas naman siyang tao, malakas siyang babae with great resistance. So, nanghinayang po ako sa pagkakataon na ito. With that, Madam Chair, I leave it also to this committee how to figure out how can we come up with an informed decision with this kind of
behavior
formula answer.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Salamat. Next is the Honorable Jude Asidre.
I will be asking questions about the 2025 budget. Given the same position of the Office of the Vice President, could the Honorable Vice President kindly enlighten this committee on how the proposed budget reflects the core mandate of the Office of the Vice President? We are sincerely eager to understand how these resources will be used to fulfill the critical responsibilities, particularly the constitutional mandate of the Vice President.
Oh, siguro sagutin
Madam Chair.
naman.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 by question and answer. I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented. You can find all the answers in the audiovisual presentation, in our submission of documents to the Secretariat, in the PowerPoint presentation, and in the opening statement. I will leave it to the House to decide on the proposal.
2025 budget.
Madam Chair, with the significant budget being requested by the Office of the Vice President, this committee is, I believe, keen to hear about the tangible successes by the OVP's programs thus far. Will this budget ensure that such commendable progress continues? I'm referring to the budget requested for 2025.
You see, guys.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, I believe we are all familiar with the constitutional mandate of the Vice President, and that's why we'd want to know if the Honorable Vice President could clarify how the proposed budget allocation and the programs that it supports are aligned with this constitutional mandate of the Vice President. Because we're confident that the budget is a perfect reflection of the Vice President's priorities and the office's essential duties.
Madam Vice President.
Hello.
Yes, Madam Chair, the answers are in the AVP presentation, the opening statement, the documents that we submitted to the Secretariat, and the PowerPoint presentation. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, in the spirit of collaboration, could the Vice President also share how the OVP works with other agencies to avoid duplication and ensure the efficient use of public funds? We trust that the budget is also a reflection of such strategic coordination.
Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, considering the careful thought that must have gone into crafting the budget of the OVP, would the Vice President explain the rationale behind specific allocations? We are particularly interested in how these figures, especially the amounts, were arrived at, considering that the Vice President has a national mandate, and how it was computed so as to translate into meaningful outcomes for the public. Madam Chair.
Bang klase. Hello,
Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, the Honorable Vice President has repeatedly mentioned that she will forgo the right to personally defend the budget through a question and answer format. How should this committee interpret such a decision? Would it be fair to conclude, Madam Chair, that the programs under the OVP may not be as high a priority or as important as we had hoped for? Or should we interpret the response and the demeanor of the Vice President indicates that we, the elected representatives of the people, and the people that we represent do not deserve an explanation on how public funds would be spent by their office, Madam Chair?
Yes, Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, all the answers are in the audiovisual presentation, the documents that we submitted to the committee secretariat, the opening statement, and the PowerPoint presentation. I did not say forgo the right, I said forgo the opportunity to defend.
Thank you, Madam Vice President, because I think it's not our right to explain our budget. It's our duty to explain our budget. That's all, Madam Chair, and this I would have to say, I leave it to the committee to consider the responses of our Honorable Vice President in the approval of the budget of the OVP.
Salamat. Before we move to round 2, just a short manifestation on my part with a kind indulgence of my colleagues. Kanina po nabanggit ang pangalan ko kasama ni Kong Franz nung meron pong nagtanong kung bakit may 125 million para sa fourth quarter taong 2023 na hindi po ginamit ng ating pangalawang Pangulo. Nabanggit ang pangalan ko. I believe ang sinabi po ni Madam Vice President is that tila may lumalabas na po na pattern simula nung araw na nagsagutan po kami sa plenaryo na lumabas po na 11 days lamang ang period na kung saan ginamit po ang pondo amounting to 125 million. I just want to state for the record that that was in no way a planned action on my part. That was the most difficult moment in my 5 years in Congress. Tinanong ako ng isang tanong, I just had to say the truth. Nakabase sa liquidation report at kitang-kita nyo naman doon po sa nakakita na po ng notice of disallowance na ginamit po siya from December 21 to 31 at pagbilangin po natin ang mga araw na yan mula 21 hanggang 31 ay indeed 11 days. So yun lang po, I just want to state that on record that on my part, simula nung moment na yon ay naging napakahirap ng buhay ko. No rational human being would ever want to plan her life that way. So there's absolutely no way that can be planned on my part, just for the record. And so with that, I move on to the second round. The Honorable Raul Manuel is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, kasi I started with questions on the DepEd confidential funds for 2023. Tingin ko, Madam Chair, if the resource person is proud of her accomplishments sa counterinsurgency tsaka anti-terror efforts, she should avail of this opportunity to explain. Sana, kasi di naman na siya kasama sa upcoming DepEd budget briefing. This will also set a bad precedent na kung nag-resign ka sa isang posisyon ay hindi ka na pwedeng matanong sa kung paano ka gumamit ng pondo na ikaw din naman yung nag-propose. Also, Madam Chair, yung DepEd confidential funds, that's in line with her role as NTFL co-vice chair, kahit nga wala naman yung posisyon na yun sa EO 70 of 2018. Pero given na ganun ka aktibo ang vice-presidente sa ganung usapin. So, Madam Chair, again, gusto lang nating i-present na yung table natin kanina kasi doon natin mapapakita na meron ding lumilitaw na pattern gaya ng na-raise ni Congresswoman Sonsing. Dito naman sa DepEd confidential funds, may pattern din. So, ma-present po sana natin ang table. Ayan. Balik po. Ayan, oo. 37.5 million no, sa bawat quarter. Ganun po ka-exact, Madam Chair. Pero, similarly, sa nabanggit din kanina ni Kong Rog, kahit sa DepEd, Madam Chair, for 2023, fourth quarter, hindi na rin ginamit yung confidential funds for DepEd. Kaya, Madam Chair, can we confirm sa part po ng COA, I'll address this question to COA, na nag-issue po kayo ng audit observation memo for DepEd confidential funds for third quarter of 2023.
Madam Vice President.
It's to
Ascom Juliano.
Madam Chair, I have no personal knowledge about the audit of Intel and confidential fund, but maybe it's in the compliance report submitted by COA to the subpoena issued by the House of Representatives.
So, hindi po, wala pong knowledge ang ating rep ngayon from COA na nabanggit po doon, and I quote, "The propriety of the transactions could not be ascertained as the submitted liquidation reports were not fully supported with complete and proper documentations as required under Joint Circular number 2015-01. Hindi po ninyo yun mako-confirm?
Opo, hindi po ako nag-audit. selected lang po yung...
But you
unit lang.
represent the agency in this budget briefing. So supposedly you can confirm or ascertain yung ilan sa mga nasa site na galing din naman sa COA.
I have the records, Your Honor, of the transactions and the details of the audit.
Madam Chair, I think the answer will not suffice. Can we request or even give a brief amount of time from our representative from COA tungkol po sa matter na ito para po ma-confirm nila?
Madam Chair, as already explained earlier, the purpose of my presence here is to give the rationale about the compliance of COA to the subpoena duces tecum. I'm not the official who supervises the Intelligence and Confidential Audit Unit because it is a dedicated unit solely for confidential funds. It could not be seen by other officials except the staff of the Intelligence and Confidential Funds Audit Unit.
Okay, so ganito na lang Madam Chair, since ang basis po natin ay galing din naman sa documents na pinrovide ng COA dahil dun sa ating subpoena duces tecum, then I move Madam Chair na kung meron ng updates from COA regarding the deficiencies of the Office of the Vice President sa DepEd confidential funds for third quarter of 2023, ay formally ma-inform po ang Committee on Appropriations. I so move Madam Chair. I reiterate my motion.
It's an action for DepEd.
COA, Madam Chair. Yes, to provide us with updates given na meron siyang audit observation memo on that confidential fund. Ibig sabihin, ongoing pa yung evaluation process. Then, kapag may mga updates, ay formally i-provide yon sa committee, Madam Chair.
Before we rule on the motion, ASCOM, is this something that can be done?
If it's a pending audit, it is within the exception of the COA circular on the release of documents.
I said, Madam Chair, after, ibig sabihin, pag may mga concrete updates na, saka mag-provide ng update sa committee na ito. So we will allow COA to proceed with due course sa dapat pa niyang gawin after that audit observation memo. Tapos kung may concrete updates, Madam Chair, yun yung i-provide dito sa komite.
Okay, so ASCOM, could you submit as required by the Honorable Manuel?
Madam Chair, we will wait for the official document from the from the Committee on Appropriations, and then we will study it and comply if there's no legal impediment or violation of our own rules.
Is that a sufficient response?
Yeah, I think that would suffice, Madam Chair. Thank you. Next topic, Madam Chair, since ang gusto ng OVP ay 2025 budget, mapag-usapan din natin siya maliban sa past budgets. Madam Chair, I'd like to discuss yung 10 million peso project na children's book. Madam Chair, dahil ayaw din po ng resource person ng question and answer, then ang paraan ko na lang po ay hindi pa tanong. Tell the committee sino po ang editor ng children's book na ito.
Madam Vice President.
Same answer yan.
Madam Chair, all the answers are... Oh, well, wala yan doon sa opening statement. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer. And I
Madam
leave
Chair,
it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
The name of the auditor of the children's book.
Yan ang nangyayari kapag hindi na
I didn't ask a question. I asked the resource person to tell the name. Pero baka hindi pa na-distinguish ano yung tanong, ano yung hindi. Pero since ayaw pong ibigay yung name ng editor ng children's book, ito kasi yung point natin, Madam Chair. The book contains many errors. Sige po, pakita po natin. Kasama po dyan dahon ng banahaw. Wala naman pong dahon ng banahaw. Baka anahaw po yung tintukoy. Yung word na sila, dapat po sina. Tapos yung walang awa, dapat nga may hyphen po yan. Tapos, Madam Chair, nakalagay din yung pugad daw ng kwago ay nakapatong sa sanga. Madam Chair, sabi ng mga eksperto, ang owl's nest hindi po ay nakapatong sa sanga. Nasa either butas po yan ng mga puno or nasa ilalim ng lupa. Next, Madam Chair, this book is not child-friendly as per writers kasi pag children's book, Madam Chair, hindi lang yung text yung mahalaga, pati yung visuals, Madam Chair. So, yung illustrations are not cohesive, para yung elements pinatong lang sa background. Tapos, low value ito for illustrations kasi, Madam Chair, kahit nga yung pangalan ng illustrators ay maliit compared dun sa pangalan ng author. When in fact, for a children's book, magkasimbigat po ang papel ng illustrator tsaka ng author. Also, Madam Chair, sa content, nag-i-impose po siya na kung paano dapat umasta ang isang kaibigan. But, Madam Chair, for children's books, dapat hindi siya nag-impose ng anumang bagay sa bata. It should be fun. Masaya lang dapat yung bata na binabasa yung libro. So, Madam Chair, this book na pinopropose na pondohan, and actually, ang topic na nga natin, 2025 budget, gusto ng resource person, we limit to the 2025 budget, pero hindi pa rin sinasagot. But this book, Madam Chair, will just contribute to the worsening of the learning crisis. Hindi po siya actually ay makabata. Ano? Kaya, Madam Chair, before I end sa second round, kasi kanina meron din pong ad hominem sa atin, meron pang disinformation about this representation. Madam Chair, kung okay lang naman yung mga libro at kung totoo pa kayong sinasabi about me, I would even suggest sa OVP, dagdagan yung budget, baka makalimang libro pa ang vice-presidente. Pwede pa nga may special edition tungkol sa kwento ng buhay ko. Pero given, Madam Chair, na hindi din talaga pumapasa sa standards ng pagsusulat ng libro. And I also think, Madam Chair, na throughout this hearing, hindi successfully na-defend yung budget ng Office of the Vice President. So, ako, personally, I'm inclined na hindi natin i-terminate yung budget briefing for the Office of the Vice President. So, yun na lang muna, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Madam Vice President.
Yes. Ma'am, the name of the editor of the book is Raul Manuel. It's a joke, ma'am. You strike it out of the record if you want.
Ay, nako. Pagkabastos talaga. Ginagawa niyang guys.
Next to interpolate is the Honorable Jefferson Gonghon.
Strong exception, do sa sinabi ni VP kanina na nagkakabuhol-buhol na yung script. Kasi sa totoo lang, wala naman tayong script dito. Ano ang ibig sabihin ng ating VP, no? Is she accusing Congress? Ang sa akin lang is dapat ready i-prove ang ating Vice President. Otherwise, we should strike it off the record. So may I move right now to strike it off the record, Madam Chair? Yung salitang nagkakabuhol-buhol na yung script.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the same is approved.
Second, Vice Chair, nakakalungkot kasi nandito tayo lahat para tayo malinawan kung ano talaga yung nangyari, lalong-lalo na sa budget ng Vice President pagdating sa confidential fund and yung budget niya ngayong 2025. Kaya lang, hindi na rin ako magtatanong kasi alam ko, paulit-ulit din yung kanyang isasagot. So, nakaka-frustrate lang dahil ito ay pera ng taong bayan. I would like to thank the Vice President for showing her true colors to the House and her lack of respect for check and balances.
Correct.
And the separation of powers and accountability.
Correct.
We are a republic. We don't have a king or a queen.
Tama.
Now, Madam Chair, dahil hindi naman masagot ni VP Sara yung mga katanungan ng miyembro, may I move now to defer the hearing of the budget of the Office of the Vice President. I so move, Mr.
Is there any objection?
Ayun na.
Hearing none, same is approved.
Go. Ayan na.
So the hearing or the briefing, the budget briefing, shall be rescheduled or shall continue on September 10 at 9 a.m. So with that, the budget briefing is suspended.